Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. First let me apologize because I've been away, things being what they were. You all know that I had been working, trying to do things like twice a week on the Olivia journal. I'm just putting some of this stuff up and out of the way. This past, am I in here? Let me move some of this over a little bit. There we go. I think we'll be okay there. Okay. I had been working on the Olivia journal, doing like 2 videos a week, and then I stopped to do the B journal for the 3,000 subbies. Thank you, everyone. I'm heading for 3,500 now, I think, at this point. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you guys and your support and your wonderful comments for me and your encouragement for me. And then I decided I was kind of like on overload, kind of running out of ideas. I couldn't think very well. So I thought, you know what? I'll just take a little break for a few days and come back and do a little something. I wanted to do these picture frames, which I will show you one that I did, but well, it's not finished yet, but it will be. And that's what all of these things are for that I had just picked up and moved out of the way. I'm working on those. However, it was a little bit too big for a project for tonight. It is Sunday night. What ended up happening was when I realized I started working on these frames for the book and really didn't quite get anything pulled together well. I did do a pocket, which I'll show you. It's done. And I'll explain what I did. But didn't realize that I had a conference. I thought I had another week, and I didn't. It actually started last Monday, and I didn't have a chance to get a video up, just, trying to get everything done at the last minute. My husband and I were both having to go to this conference. It was only 3 days, but we decided where we were going to be. We were going to be in Pennsylvania. We'd be a whole lot closer, 2/3 closer, as a matter of fact, to family in New Jersey. So we took a few more days to the end of the week so that we could go back, see my son and my brother and his boys and their wives and their babies. So I got to meet my first grand niece, who was born in January. I finally got to make acquaintance with her, which was wonderful. Nothing like family, I'll tell you. But anyway, so we came back last night, and my dog is not doing well. We're going to be taking him to the vet tomorrow, and I have a feeling it's not going to be a good outcome. It's not going to be good news. He is 14, but nonetheless, you all know how that is if you have a pet. So there was a lot going on. So I finally got a chance today after we did church. I've got laundry going in the background. If you can hear my washing machine, it's on spin. And, because I have a week's worth of laundry I have to do. And I thought I'd come over here and I would sit down and just do a little something just to mostly explain to you guys where I've been. And that I will be trying to get another video up on Wednesday, I'm hoping. If not Wednesday, definitely by the end of the week, but I am trying. Okay. I'm not going to go to that one. What I'm going to do today is, that I made this pocket on a page previously, and honestly, I don't know what video it was in or what the issue was, why I just thought it would be pretty and didn't know what I was going to put in it. So I went through some of my pieces and I decided that it looked really good with this. But what I did was I was concerned because this was cracking. This was actually vellum that I had embossed, but it was cracking. So I had put it on the page, and I wasn't happy with it. So what I ended up doing was I cut it off the page. As you can see, I just cut it off the page, not very nicely. I just kind of cut it down inside the lace, and I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this shut, and that makes this a little bit more sturdy. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then what I'm going to do, because it was on the page, this way. I want the width for this tag, and this is just a little too narrow, as you can see. So what I did was I went ahead and I got the paper that I'm going to put it on. This is the page out of the journal. I got another piece of that paper, and I cut a little V out of it, as you can see. I already did that, so it matches this. And I'm going to just put this paper to the back, and then it's too wide for this page, by the way. So it's going to have to be trimmed down, but that's okay. And I'll be able to glue out here, and that gives me the width I would need to be able to, I'm hoping, to be able to pull this in and out of the pocket, because this is a freestanding kind of thing. You need it to come out. So that is our project for today. But before I get started on that, let me pull down here, and I'm going to show you what I did work on that I didn't really think warranted much of a video. I've got my signatures tagged, so I know where I'm putting what. Y'all will remember this, I'm standing up, this 6 tag pocket tag that I did, and I'm going to flip this little guy out here. I took the tag that I did have covering this because I decided, the tags are beautiful, but I decided I loved this so much that I really didn't want to cover it. So I put these little labels in, and these 2 are beeswax that I had done previously before I did the ones for the bee journal. So I just kind of tucked those in there. I thought they looked pretty. The color was pretty. And did that on both sides. So that's what we've got. Actually, this I think should go this way. Not that it matters, I could do that later. But anyhow, I'm trying not to cover the flowers. So I needed a pocket for this, and I was going to do something on the side, but it was really a little just too big, and I was afraid it was, or too weighty, I guess, and I was afraid it would fall out. So what I did was I did this pocket instead. And what this base is unbleached parchment paper that I crumpled, and then I glued to a piece of tea-stained paper. And then all I did was take, and there's probably no ink on here, I made sure these ridges were all glued down. So I went around and made sure they were glued, and then I just went over it like this with my, now I haven't been here for a week, so I don't know how much glue is on here, but you could see there is some, to just highlight the ridges. Made just a rectangular pocket, and I decorated it with some lace, some fussy cuts, oops, don't go away, fussy cut flower, butterfly, my original light the paper on fire bee seal, didn't throw it away. I just nestled it in the a little bit of cheesecloth, and then put a little snippet of lace that was on here, these little guys. Just took a little bit of that and put that down here, and that's all I did to make the pocket for this, and then that goes right in here. So I did work on that while I was not with you guys. I did back all of these center spreads with another paper, making pockets so that there's going to be big tags in there. And this is the excuse me, the frames that I was working on, and these are tracing paper, okay, and I made them into frames. And then what I'm going to do is there's going to be a kind of cluster of some kind down here, and in each, well, not each one, because I'm doing one of these whole pieces for each signature. However, that makes 10 frames, okay, because there's 2 in each of the 5 signatures, 1 and 1. 1 page, but 2 pictures. Probably 5 or 6 of them, they'll all be decorated somehow, but only 5 or 6 of them are going to have a secret place. So that makes it a little more interesting, because if you start finding secret places, you'll be like, oh, everyone has a secret place, but everyone will not have a secret place. So I just have to be, you know, like that. I have to do that. I don't know if I can come up with 10 secret places on these things, but I'm hoping to have all of my pieces ready. I did this one just to see if it would kind of work the way I was thinking, and got this far, but not as far as I would have liked. So I'm hoping to have all these pieces ready for the next video. So we'll work a little bit on those in the next video. So that's that so far. So I'm just going to stick that up there. And we're going to come back over here to this little guy. and go ahead and get started on this. So first thing I'm going to do, oh, and I'm going to flip this mat over in my next video. I hope it to be on the other side because it's got so many scratches and scrapes and all kinds of things. And I'm going to try to, I bought some new silicone mats. They're actually baking mats, but they look an awful lot like the Tim Holtz vinyl one that I have someplace, and I don't know where it is right now, that I've put like 3 or 4 slashes in. I bought a set of 3, and they were less than $6 for the 3 of them. Forgot to bring them downstairs, but I'm going to try to clean this up, flip this mat over to the other side. The gashes are not so much, you know, for cutting. It's the glue and the stuff that I get on it that makes it lumpy and makes it difficult to work with. So I'm hoping to use those mats again to do the glue and things like that. So that's my plan. That's my plan. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, this is a little bit longer. I did get 3 new bottles of glue. I've got, all I'm going to do is just kind of go in here, and I'm just going to stick some glue in wherever. Oop, let me make sure this is open, because again, I haven't been here. Seems okay. Oh, my goodness. All right, it'll go. I'm just opening between the original pocket that I had made and the paper that I had glued it to, and I'm just going to glue this shut. So that's all I'm going to do. So I will do that while I am doing the chatting. So I got a resounding, wonderful appreciation for that bee journal, which I loved, by the way. And like I said, I have always, since I first came into junk journaling, and people were doing bee journals, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do a bee journal. And I've collected so much bee stuff, it's ridiculous. And I could do probably 15 different types of bee journals. You know, some a little more serious, sort of like the one that I did, and then some a little more whimsical and cute and, you know, whatever, and anything in between, more than likely. So I'm just pressing this down to make sure this is closed. And then I'm going to go along the edge and make sure that it's really, really closed. We'll do that with this. I think it's getting to be time, maybe, to refill that. I just want to go along these edges and make sure. Is anything coming out of this? Yes. I haven't changed the top to this yet. I think maybe after a while they do get a little too clogged in there. You have to keep cleaning them a little more frequently, these little skinny ones. So anyway, it was just amazing, the response that I got to that bee journal. And I actually have a couple of people who want it, myself included. I had intended that I was going to go ahead and make another one for me. So I did do a little bit of collecting a little bit more stuff to make sure that I would have enough to try to make as many as I could the same, or at least close to the same. So I did find the material. I originally had found the material at Walmart, but Amazon had it, so I got a little bit more to make sure. I'm just going to trim that right there. Even though it doesn't really show, I can see it's over the lace from the back. And I just want to try to get underneath this lace and get that out. There we go. That's better. Just a wee little bit. But that should do it. I decided I was going to do this whole piece. Let me lay it on top of it. I could have just done little strips, but I didn't want the piece going in and out to catch and eventually pull it. So I decided I would just do it up a little further and make the whole back into the piece. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to just try to get this centered. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and glue this down. Get rid of that glue. And I went up to about here, so I'm going to assume that's where I should start my glue. Let's see. Actually, a little bit higher. So anyhow, So yeah, I got the material. I got a little bit more of the lace that I used on the spine. I got some more bees of the charms because I didn't have that many left. I'm not sure that they're exactly the same. When I looked up the ones that I had gotten before, they said they were unavailable, but there was others, and they're certainly close enough. I think I'd have to put them side by side to see if I could tell the difference. Just looking at the new ones, I would have said, why aren't they the same? So we should be okay there. Not a problem. But anyway, so I did go ahead and do that. So there will be more bee journals in my future. But that is that for now. So I'm going to turn this way because I want to line it up on the bottom. Let's get it up so I'm sure I am where you can see it. And what I'm trying to do is just give myself pretty equal on both sides here. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. And I'm a little high on this side. Not that that matters. So anyway, so our conference was good. A lot of good information there for ministry, which was nice. This was my husband's first one doing this particular kind of conference. I've been doing them for years. But this time he had accompanied me, so yeah. So that was kind of fun. And yeah, that looks good. I think I have a little bit right there that I want to trim inside under the lace. And I'm not worried if the back of this is perfectly straight, you know, if I'm pulling pieces off or whatever, because you're not going to see it. So I'd like it to be as neat as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect because you don't see it. So we have that. All right, let me cover this glue for a minute because the next thing I want to do is fit it to the paper. And then I'm going to have to decide where I'm trimming. So all I'm really needing, and this is going to be a little interesting, I'm going to put it right to the edge here. And I think I'm going to bring it in just a hair from the spine here, which I think maybe I'll move this over a little bit. I could probably still keep that there, but I'll move this one in a little. Okay, the interesting thing is now I've got this. So I'm going to have to draw myself a line. Let me put this out of the way before I ruin it. I'm going to have to try to draw myself a line. And I don't know that my knife will cut through this. So I'm going to try to draw the line on the paper, which is to here. And then I'm going to try, get it here. I'm going to try, all right, to draw down the lace, even if it's just a little bit that I can see, because I'll cut part of it, the paper, that'll work. I'll cut the paper part with one pair of scissors, but I cut the lace with another pair because I have the, you know, when you mix your scissors, which isn't good, and I'm hoping that this is going to be okay. When you mix your scissors, your paper, if you cut paper and then you cut fabric, your scissors start to go kind of dull after a little while. I want to make sure that I'm not too far off with this because it's interesting. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm a little concerned because when I line it up with the paper, this comes way out. And I'm thinking it's because it's kind of on a, you know, it's kind of mushy. So, all right, I'm going to try to do that. Bring this to there and then up here. And let's hope, I'm going to start with this. Let's hope I have this right. Or I may be changing this pocket completely. I can't say that my tutorials are always perfect tutorials. Sometimes I think I should just title all my tutorials, What to Do When You Make a Mistake tutorials. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do this with my scissors going all the way down now. So yeah, so it was so good to see my family. I did miss my one niece, my nephew's wife. She couldn't come up because she had some, it was pretty a sudden decision that we decided that it was only about a week before we were going to go on the conference itself, that we decided that we would take that little side trip over to New Jersey to see the family. So yeah, so that was you know, and they have, you know, when you're young you have all those plans. I remember being young and having all those plans. My nephew was saying, you know, with all their friends and their babies and other weddings or whatever there might be, and this and that, and who's christening and, you know, whatever. He said pretty much every weekend already for their summer is booked up. So it kind of gets tough when you're trying to do all that stuff. So she had a few things she had to take care of, but that was Melissa. But Justin came with his mom, and get rid of that little point there. And yeah, that was nice to have them come up. So he came up with his 3.5-year-old, who was just a little darling. And I can see a little bit of what I've done here is did not have that glued perfectly straight. So I'm going to get rid of this little edge just a bit. Hey, do that. Okay, that should be okay. Let's hope. So he came up with his little ones. All right, and that works for me. That will work. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and just put a little ink on the edge here. Try to make it kind of match this, you know, a little bit as best as I can. That will work. Let me get in here and do that. So yeah, so he came up with his 3.5-year-old and his, what is she, January, February, March. So she was like 2 months old. Our little Francesca, they call her Frankie, and the little boy is Ryder. So we got to spend some time with them and bonding with them, which for me is everything, because I don't get to see my family that often because I always live so far away. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down with the art glitter glue. And we are going to hope that I can get this piece in here. Because if I can't, I guess I'll be making something else for it. And we will be finding a different tag to put in here. So, anyway. So I got to see them, and then earlier in the week, his twin brother, my nephew Jeffrey, this was Justin who came up with his children, and then earlier my nephew Jeffrey and his wife Samantha, who is pregnant with their second child, another little girl now, so we'll have 2 boys and 2 girls, and she's due in July with little Ellie Rose is going to be her name. And they came up with their 2-year-old. He just turned 2, Walker. And so we got to visit and play and bond with Walker and see his parents, and which was awesome. All right, now what I'm going to do before that really settles in, and I'm just going to tuck this back because, you know what, I'm going to take that off because of the glue. I want to make sure And I know I'm pulling that up, but that's okay. I want to make sure this goes in so I can get the glue where I want it. I'm pushing in those sides again to try to make a little bit of that puff in the middle, especially for something this thick. And I think that looks lovely. It looks lovely. I may not even put this on, to tell you the truth, because it's going to sit in the pocket. So I may just leave it be. I don't know. I don't know. If the pocket will take it, then perhaps I'll leave it. But if the pocket gives it an issue, I may take it off. I think it will go just fine. Tuck it in a little bit on the side. But I think that'll do it. So that's, I'm not going to do anything else to this. I'm happy with the way it is. Yeah. Let me just kind of put this, I'm trying to get the tag to go where I wanted it to go because it's off center. We can't have off center. So that'll be that. That one's going to go in here. I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't catch on anything. And then that goes back on this signature. And that is the front of signature, I think this is signature 4. Actually, yes it is. Here it is. So there's my little tag for it. So that's the pocket for this one. Try to get that a little more centered. So I think that came out pretty as well. So that will do it for that one. So this is it. That's all I'm going to do for today. Mostly, like I said, I just wanted to tell you where I've been. I am fine. Just had to go away and got my weeks wrong. Yeah, so I'm back, and hopefully we'll be doing a whole lot more. Like I said, I'm going to try to get you a video for Wednesday. We're going to work a little bit more on some of these frames. Perhaps it may be a couple of videos. I don't know. We'll see. And we will go from there. But we are zoning in. We are getting to the end. Well, maybe to the middle of the Olivia journal. I have the cover partly ready. I didn't want to finish that just yet because it requires a little bit of something I haven't really done before. So I have to kind of really be in a zone. But that's it for now, guys. So until I see you again, be safe, be blessed, and be happy. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye for now.